So it looks like Tariff Trump is back. Well, kind of. Let me go ahead and explain exactly what happened today. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. Hope that you guys learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. So overall, NASDAQ market during today's pre-market session was trading just normal. And then all of a sudden, a nice gap down, lower high, and then a huge gap down. What led to the sell-off? Now, markets are trying to recover. Let me also try to justify why. First off, markets are super irrational, so them recovering is not fully understood, but it's kind of understood if you understand how the past 4 to 5 weeks have been when it comes down to trading in the market. The first thing that you need to understand is that Trump's tweet. That's the biggest news that was shared today. This entire breakdown is pretty much to say, hey, the EU has not been negotiating with us appropriately. I am recommending, so this is the key word that I think a lot of people are honing in on. I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting June 1st, 2025. There is no tariff if the product is built or manufactured in the United States. Thank you for your time and your attention to this matter. So the whole idea behind this is that Trump believes that the trade between the US and the EU is unfair. So the European Union, which was formed for the primary purpose of taking advantage of the United States on trade, has been very difficult to deal with. Their powerful trade barriers, VAT taxes, ridiculous corporate penalties, and non-monetary trade barriers, monetary manipulations, and unfair and unjustified lawsuits against American companies, and more have led to a trade deficit from the U.S. of more than $250 million a year, a number which is totally unacceptable. And then this is where he gets into this is where we're recommending. The key word is recommending. I think that is why the market is justifying trying to recover. So obviously a 50% tariff would not be good for the EU. Will they come to the table to negotiate by June 1st? Or will they call Trump's bluff and say, if this is how you want to play, let's play? In that case, I would expect markets to drop even further. But if this doesn't go into effect and Trump sends another tweet, says, hey, we had a great conversation, just as he normally does. Nothing has been signed yet, but we had a great conversation. No 50% tariff. Markets are bound to recover. I just want you to understand the two different kind of like factors. It's all based off of tone and what the response is from the EU. If it's positive, then again, markets can recover because it's just a recommendation. It's not that it's actually going into effect just yet. If they don't come to the table and they want to play hardball, then yeah, potential more downturn. I think that this can be the start of another trade war, especially with China. We all know that China has already been itching to retaliate because of its disagreement with the US. There is no trade deal that is signed. So the markets recovering as they has all been based off of hope and the 90-day pause. There is no trade deal signed with any country. Let's make that very, very clear. These have all been grace periods that have been granted from each country. Now that we understand that, the second thing that you should also pay attention to is I had long ago informed Tim Cook of Apple that I expect their iPhones that will be sold in the United States of America will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or any other place. Currently, they're made in China. Tim Cook was looking into manufacturing in India, and this is why he's saying not India or any other place. If that is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the US. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The way that Apple responds, Apple sells off 4% during the pre-market session. And the last thing that I have to share with you is because of the Moody downgrade, obviously, with what we talked about yesterday, the big, beautiful bill that Trump has now passed through the House of Representatives has created some uncertainty. It's going to add about $4 to $5 trillion into our national deficit that currently sits at nearly $37 trillion. Because of that, the Philippines is thinking about dumping U.S. treasuries. That would only mean that our yields would spike up even more, making it more expensive for people like you and I, businesses, and the U.S. to borrow money. So if you wanted to take out a mortgage, it's already more expensive now than it was 3 months ago because of bond yields going up. The 10-year treasury is a benchmark for mortgages. Now, if this happens, they will spike even higher. So again, making it more expensive and more irrational for the average American to be able to afford a home. So with that being said, again, NASDAQ market did sell off, but like we said, markets are irrational. They want to find any and every reason on why to recover. We're going into a 3-day weekend in observance to Memorial Day on Monday, so the stock market will be closed. Today, it is already trading a little bit slower. We'll see how things continue to progress, but I wanted to make sure that you had a full understanding of how things were trading and why. The market sold off originally due to Trump's recommendation for a 50% tariff increase to the European Union. And second, also announcing a 25% possible tariff on Apple or iPhones, which of course affects Apple more than anyone else. And this is why Apple saw a substantial drop. So we'll see how things continue to develop. I'll make sure that I do my part in keeping you guys up to date. I won't be most likely uploading a second video today. So all I literally ask you to do is drop a thumbs up if you feel like we earned it. Subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Again, I do trade live every single morning. And if you ever want to tune on in, it's designed for complete beginners. And you can watch me trade live as soon as Tuesday because markets are closed on Monday in observance to Memorial Day. That's going to be the second link in the description down below. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. And right now with the sale, it breaks down to less than $1.35 per day. So I hope to see you there. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.